Before you dive into any specific profile or ask me any specific profile related questions, that is management consulting good, or is transfer pricing good, or is should I get into a particular industry, like power sector is going to be the next hotspot for the next 10 years. Should I get into power sector? Should I get into fintech or something like this? So forget all those specific questions and try and focus what I'm trying to share here. Okay, this will help you, really help you in the long run. Okay, no matter what profile you choose, no matter what industry you choose, no matter what career path you choose, okay, there are three broad career paths, and you have to tread one of these paths to achieve that high level of success in the long run. Okay, the first path is the expert path. Here you will look at being a subject matter expert, like for example a GST expert, or a direct taxes expert, or an accounting standards expert, or a consolidation expert, or something like that, right? You pick up one subject matter and develop deep expertise in it, so much so that people are ready to pay top dollars for your time. Think about it like being a top lawyer in the country, or being a top tax consultant in the country. Yeah? So that is the expert path, where eventually over a period of time, like 8, 10, 12 years, once you gain that expertise in the subject, you will reach a position where you will be paid top dollars for your consulting. Okay, that is the expert path. If you want to follow the expert path, the immediate next step would be to find the right expert out there in the market and try and get into that kind of a firm. Like if you want to be a GST expert, find out which are the top firms out there who are specializing in GST, and then try and get into them, get an internship in them. Again, big fours are of course a great learning ground, but that's not the only place. There are many consulting firms. Like if you want to be an expert in direct taxes, then find out which are the top firms out there who are practicing in direct taxes, and then try and get into them, get into these firms, and slowly understand more about the subject, develop deep expertise about the subject, so much so that in the long run you're considered as an expert and you are the go-to person for that subject. Okay, that's the expert path. The second path that is available for you is the generalist path. Okay, this is that classic path of joining some company at a lower position, okay, like an analyst or a assistant manager or an accountant or something like that, and then keep growing up to the ranks of becoming a senior finance professional, VP, CFO, partner, director, whatever that industry has a highest level. Yeah, so this is that classic generalist path, right? Here you join some company. Okay, start your career probably as a accounts assistant or an accounts manager or something like that, and then you keep growing up to the ranks of becoming a senior manager, general manager, either within the same company or in some other company. Okay, and keep growing up to the ranks of becoming that senior finance professional. It's like a 10 to 15 year plan, and at every different level you will keep working on yourself to acquire different skills. Like for example, once you become a manager, you have like 4 people under you, then team leading is something which you need to learn. Okay, when you slightly become senior, when you are at the VP finance or a CFO kind of a position, then strategy or business focused knowledge is something which will require more, and you will learn that with time. And all this will happen gradually, and not everything can be taught in books and training courses, right? So you have to start learning on the job as well, and frankly there's no substitute for experience. So with experience you will start. A combination of experience and learning the right skill sets and guidance will help you propel on this generalist path. Think about a CFO. Okay, a CFO is not really an expert in accounting standards or direct taxes or anything like that. Okay, but he knows just enough to ask the right questions to the experts that his company hires. Like for example, I'm working as a CFO today in my company. If I come across a tax query or a GST query, I'm not a GST expert. I don't want to take it on my head. So what we do is direct it to the tax team, or if it's beyond tax team's capabilities, then we direct it to an external consultant, and that consultant's opinion will matter, and accordingly we'll shape the business situation that we want to work on, or that we are working on, right? So that's the path of a generalist, where you have enough skill sets to put together the right resources and manage them. Okay, in this path, everybody will kind of report to you when you get senior. The tax guy will report to you, the accounts guy will report to you, FP&A guy will report to you, the SAP guy will report to you. So all of these guys will report to you, and you will have that generalist skill to manage all of these people. Okay, so in this path, most likely you will work in 3 or 4 different kind of profiles by the time you reach that senior position. Today you might be working in accounts, as accounts manager in one company. Tomorrow you will work in FP&A, financial planning and analysis, in some other company. After that, you'll be working in some commercial finance function in some other company. So slowly, by acquiring different kind of skill sets and different kind of operational knowledge, at some point in time, you'll reach that position where you can say you are a senior finance professional or a business focused finance professional. That's the generalist path, where probably the highest place in the generalist path is becoming a CEO or a chairman. Yeah. Then there is a third path, that is the technology path. If you are somebody who likes to be the go-to person for solving complex problems through technology, you remember that every CA firm has that one guy who's really good with Excel, and everybody goes to that person to, ask Excel queries. So something like that. But there could be hundreds of different kind of technologies available out there. You could be an Oracle expert, or you could be an SAP expert, or you could be a business intelligence tool expert. So there is something called as business intelligence tools, BI tools, which are widely used by industries. What BI tool does is it sits on top of the ERP and extracts the right kind of reports required for management analysis, required for management accounting. Okay, so many a times you require people who have a blend of technical knowledge of finance and accounting and the technology knowledge, so that you can club them and help the management to generate the right kind of reports, customize the kind of right kind of reports through these BI tools. So you can be one of these technology experts. Then there's a tool called Hyperion, which is used for consolidation of financial statements in the industry side. Okay, and then there's a tool called Anaplan, which is widely used by companies as a planning software, which is used for budgeting and forecasting and business planning, scenario analysis, and all of that. Okay, so there are different kinds of technologies available out there. If you are somebody who likes to be a techno commercial kind of a person, okay, then technology path is for you. Then find out companies which are into these kind of technologies and get into them and start learning more about the technology. Of course, this path is just like an expert path, okay, where just that the only difference here is that there you are a subject matter expert, but in technology path, you're a technology expert, and you have to keep upgrading yourself with the latest technologies that come into the market, just like amendments that come in the amendments or the latest developments that happen in the expert path. Okay, so that's the technology path for you. Again, in technology path, you develop yourself, you invest in yourself to grow to such an extent that people are ready to pay top dollars for you for solving problems through that technology. Okay, so these are the 3 broad paths available for you. Right now, you may not know actually which path is for you. Like I can give you one example that we all started with the generalist path. 17 of us were selected through campus in Bharat Petroleum. That was my first job. And 4 of us were roommates staying in Mumbai. One of them was in retail. I was in industrial and commercial. Another 2 of them were in internal audit. One of them was in taxation. So all of us were working in within the company, but in different departments. It so happened that there was an opportunity in the ERP department where they were looking for CAs with 2 years experience within Bharat Petroleum to train them as ERP experts, as SAP experts. So one of my roommates, he applied for it, gave the interview, cleared it, and he started liking the technology path so much that he's today leading the ERP team in Bharat Petroleum. Okay, so that's how your path might be. You may start with the generalist path, come across come across an opportunity in the technology path, and you make a shift. You may start with an expert path, like say you start as a direct tax manager in some company. Then you realize that maybe direct tax is not for me. I now want to become a CFO or a senior finance professional at some point in time later on. Then maybe you can do that slight shift to the generalist path later on. Okay, and usually like within the first 5 to 7 years, the shift is very easy. People are accommodative, and you will get to shift between these paths. But the moment you have slightly more experience, like about 7, 8, 10 years experience, then it becomes slightly difficult to move across these paths. Then you have to narrow down on one path and then stick to it and build on top of what experience you've already got. Okay, so these are the different kind of paths available for you.